like looking back on where the school was when I first got here to now is really, really incredible. And to see how we just keep growing as a faculty and as a professional community is something that really means a lot to me. And it's something that I really think is special about our school.
The students here are phenomenal, and they're for me what really make my days really bright here at SHSID. And they've got this real thirst for knowledge. They give everything they've got.
I think the people that'll find they really do want to be active here, and they really want to try to take advantage of opportunities, and they want to work with some students that are extremely motivated and talented are the ones that are going to have the absolute best time.
I feel like there's so many more celebrations here than there are at schools in the US, and it keeps that sort of, even though kids are constantly engaging with this rigorous curriculum, even though they have to work really, really hard, they get these moments to celebrate and express themselves through art, sports, music.
We can have sort of stereotypes of what we think a classroom in China will be like, and it's really not like that at all.
But beyond the school walls is Shanghai, which at this moment is one of the great cities of the world, and the possibilities are limitless.
All right, so our campus has so many years of history to it. We are the international division of Shanghai's oldest local high school, Shanghai High School, and we are located in the Shuhui district, which is about 15 to 20 minutes away from the heart of the city center. And we are also extremely close to 2 metro lines. We are also a designated UNESCO World Heritage Site, as we were the former site of the Lunghua Civil Assembly Center, which was one of the Empire of Japan's internment camps during World War II, and also the setting of the novel Empire of the Sun. So to help give you an idea what our campus actually looks like, we are going to take a tour.
Welcome to SHSID. This is Zentao, affectionately nicknamed ZT. It's the main 8 to 10 building. In Jianmen, this is the reference library. Lots of students spend a lot of time here studying, and there's lots of resources for research and textbooks.
Okay, so a bit more about our day-to-day running and our curriculum in the school. So SHSID is based around these 2 core values that have been an independent learner and a responsible global citizen. This to coincide with being a 21st century learner and the requirements to integrate with interactive and digital social skills and methodologies. And everything we do in the school is based around these two core values.
So to look more closely at our curriculum, starting in primary school, we tend to separate it into lower primary, grades 1 through 3, and then upper primary, grades 4 through 5. In grades 1 through 3, we cover homeroom, ELA, science, social studies, and personal growth. And then in grades 4 and 5, it tends to be social studies and English. Now in grades 1 through 3, we also offer a one-to-one iPad program to help integrate technology with our teachers. We also utilize Common Core standards, including the Common Core's Journeys textbooks within our English classes.
And then the middle school closely aligns with what's been founded in the primary school. And we build on this by, again, focusing on the Common Core standards for college readiness, and then with the collections textbook, and we use MAP as our main form of standardized assessment to compare students to those around the world. To give a bit more context, I remember when I first came to the school that I was slightly wary about entering somewhere with the American curriculum, coming from a solid UK national curriculum background, and I found the transition quite easy. There is a lot of overlap, and you'll find they do align very closely. And it's also good to mention that when we mention grades, the best way of working out is +1 to get the year in the UK. For example, grade 1 is year 2 in the UK. Always good to know.
Okay, let's take a look at the high school curriculum setup. We run as an IB standard school for the diploma program. However, we do offer a variety of courses for our students. We focus on also core curriculum as well, taking that from the US, as well as ideal education. Our main school focuses are English literature, social studies, economics, and psychology, amongst the many other options that students have. They also have academy courses, optional courses, and project-based learning courses that they're able to partake in throughout the year. Standardized testing that we have throughout the year or on a multi-year scale is the IB and AP curriculum, as well as the SAT, PSAT, ACT, and TOEFL as well throughout different times of the year. We have an IB and AP program that's offered bilingually for students in multiple languages, as well as a new A-levels program that has been initiated and continues to grow within the school. Okay, in the school population, we have over 3,000 students in grades 1 through 12, with over 64 countries represented as our student backgrounds. Our overall IB average score is a 43 with an AP score of 4.5. So students perform very well in the high school program particularly, and are continuously offered positions in the top 50 global schools worldwide. Okay, and a little bit about lifestyle here in Shanghai. Within the school, there's fantastic opportunities for savings. The school does provide housing upon arrival as well as continuously throughout your contract. So you do have the option to partake in free on-campus housing as another way of means to save money. Also the chance to live in one of the most fascinating cities in Asia. It's a great jumping off point for travel, as well as has a true international feel that has always made our colleagues feel very comfortable and at home, even though we're on opposite sides of the globe now. Okay, Shanghai itself is continuously ranked in the top 10 of cities to live within Asia. And if you like any different kinds of international food or want to try the local cuisine, this is definitely the place for you. We have over 43 Michelin star restaurants that are at your disposal. The Bund, the center of Shanghai, being just a quick 25-minute drive from campus. Here you'll find some of the best views of the city as well as the best cuisine and nightlife. And then also as a group within our colleagues, we tend to do quite a bit together from a social standpoint. So you do have the opportunity to get to know your colleagues very well and engage with each other outside of the classroom. We've committed to a very tight-knit expat community here within Shanghai. However, there are plenty of other expats as well where you can find your own niche within the city if you so choose. Plenty of comforts for home, things like Costco and Disneyland that you'll be able to take excursions to make you feel right at home when you need to.
Okay, thank you, Brandon. Okay, so I'm just going to talk a little bit to the transition coming from the UK to China, which is something that I went through myself 3 years ago, and I have many colleagues who have also made this journey from UK to China. So first of all, for newly qualified teachers is something the school does try to search for. We see it as the perfect starting point for teachers on their journey as a practitioner. We have abundance of support on offer, including continued professional development throughout the primary, middle and high school. We have a mentor program for new teachers in their first year, so you have a one-to-one support mechanism in place to support the daily running, especially as you're settling into Shanghai, not just in the classroom, but also into the city and new environment. And we also have Teach Meet, something we've started this year, informal practice where we meet as a group and talk about teaching problems and ways to overcome. QTS, a qualified teacher status. I imagine that many of you right now are in the position where you're thinking about how you're going to achieve this in the future. And this is something that you can actually acquire on returning to the UK through evidence such as contracts and statement from leadership. So I myself, when I return to the UK in the future, I will go back and acquire my QTS through providing evidence of what I have done over the last few years. And as we have a number of observations in school, this is something that can easily be evidenced when you do return. Big drawing point as well is the amount of contact hours, the amount of teaching time that you have. Working in the UK previously, I know that it's not uncommon for teachers to be teaching up to 35, 36 hours a week. It's a huge jump from that here, 20 to 22 hours per week in comparison to that extensive time in the UK, which leaves a lot more time to reflect and refine your practice and develop resources whilst collaborating with those around you. And linked to that, the work-life balance here is phenomenal. It's something that, I never thought I'd be able to achieve as a teacher until coming here. And as Brandon mentioned previously, Shanghai and our school is an excellent, thriving expat community. Okay, so hopefully this morning you found out a little bit more about our school. But if you still have questions, my colleagues and I will be on hand now to respond to them. And again, thank you for taking the time this morning. Again, after the presentation and discussion we're about to have, if you still have any questions which have not been answered, you can find a lot more information on the school's website. So thank you.
That is our presentation, and hope you guys like what we prepared. And I feel very excited that I noticed there are about 50 students in our room right now enjoying our presentation. That's really great. And then we understand you guys just returned from your Easter holiday. And so thank you very much for spending the morning with us. So just now you have watched a pre-recorded session about introducing our school with the curriculum, and it's also live in Shanghai. And I think I forgot to introduce myself. Actually, I'm Helen again, and I'm coordinator of HR, mainly in charge of foreign teachers. Why mainly in charge of foreign teachers? Because we have more than 130 Western teachers on campus, and I have 2 colleagues in my office, and we are in charge of all the recruitment, orientation, and daily management with our teachers. So you can imagine how our work rhythm is like every day, very busy. So today, the 3 colleagues just now in the pre-recorded session, you already know them. Brandon from high school and Lady Jessica from middle school, and as Eddie as well from middle school. Also, Eddie's from the UK. So we're very happy here to be with you this morning. And then now we are ready to reply to questions from you guys. If you have any, feel comfortable to type in the chat room.
Thank you so much, Helen and team, for the wonderful presentation, a really rich curriculum, and a wonderful campus. It almost makes me want to visit really soon to see it in person. We've been receiving questions in the chat via private message, and please, I would like to encourage anyone that has any questions to keep sending this to myself. so we can pose them to the team and get all of your questions answered. So a few things I would like to clarify. So a few of the students, we've touched a little bit upon how qualified teachers could apply to the school. Can you give us a little bit more information about anyone who might not have a teaching qualification or has not done a teaching degree? Are they able to apply? If someone has finished a degree in psychology, for example, or a language degree in English literature or English studies, are they still eligible to apply? And what and how should they supplement their degree with some teaching experience?
I think, yeah, this is a very good question about the teaching qualification at our school. Ideally, if we have teachers, someone like Eddie, who already have teaching experiences in the UK and have got QTS, or the teacher have got PGCE, it'll be great that teachers for transferring to our school to teach. And then for people who have these qualifications, don't need to get an additional TEFL or TESOL or self-test certificate. However, if not, then as I mentioned, TESOL, TEFL, or self-test can be an option to get for qualification to come and work in our school as a language teacher, because this is the government requirement for getting the qualifications to make up for the 2-year teaching experiences. So likewise, if a student graduated from the university, but afterwards he or she has got 2 years full-time teaching experiences, that's also make them qualified to come over and then teach in our school. And I also understand, like later there might be some individual questions or personal questions or things we might be able to reply. If it doesn't affect to everyone, we are also later able to reply through Kyrie, because the Q&A part might not be recorded. So I will explain, don't worry, if you give us very individual or personal questions, we'll also be able to reply to you.
So yeah, we'll be able to look at your own personal circumstances and let you know whether you're eligible to apply based on that or not. Again, just to clarify, Helen, would you say that the students do need a TEFL or a TESOL qualification? I know that's very easily obtained online. It just takes a training course and it's not very expensive to obtain. Would those students be looked favorably if they have those qualifications?
Like I said, the better if students have QTS or PGCE, but if not, it doesn't matter. We have teachers who come here with TESOL or TEFL certificate, because we also have a recruitment interview procedures. We are able to see whether the student have potential, because according to us, we all understand the best teacher isn't trained. It's the born teacher, excellent teacher. So we are very much interested in to recruit teachers who have got potential. And then who can be very committed and hardworking. And most important, students enjoy Chinese culture and want to experience and then embrace or engaged in Chinese culture. And then we'll be very happy to provide these opportunities to students who don't have QTS or PGC.
Yeah, and I think just to add to what Helen said, I think the experience is not a prerequisite. I'd argue that coming in fresh from having a teaching qualification or freshman degree with a TEFL or TESOL background puts you in very good standing straight away in our school. And like I said in the presentation, we've got so much PD in place to help new teachers. It's a perfect environment. And I feel like the transition into our school as a teacher with that much experience is a lot easier, a lot softer ground than it would be in the UK, from my experience especially.
Which brings me very nicely to my next question, which is one that the students have asked loads, and is mainly for the teachers, is what do you enjoy the most working, one in Shanghai and then 2 in Shanghai High School?
I can go first. I would say it is the amount of contact hours that I really prefer with my students. We run very much, at least in the high school, kind of like a university hybrid schedule, basically, where I only teach a certain number of hours per day with the students, usually during the week, roughly about 20 hours of contact time with the students. And then the rest of the time I have for planning, marking lessons, as well as office hours for students to come and ask questions for clarification. That is vastly different than my prior experience teaching, where everything was very much back to back and very little free time to actually work for my next lesson or get caught up with work that I need to do. So there's a really good balance here for me, at least personally, I think, with the school that allows me to stay at the top of my game for teaching. The school is also very closely located to everything that you'd want to go to in Shanghai. Especially now, kind of in post-COVID, we've had everything opened up here for a year already. So it has been nice to maintain a semblance of normalcy with that, and the availability to go out to eat, be able to go do things, travel within the country as well has been open. So just the ability to have a work-life balance for me has been really good.
For me, I'd say it's both the students and the teachers that make my time here so enjoyable. My students on a daily basis are the highlights of my day. They're just so smart, they're so sweet, they're so funny, and they're so dedicated to learning, including parent support. It's always there, it's always so consistent, and it's just a very positive work environment to be in. And then also my coworkers, both our Chinese coworkers and the other foreign teachers, it's so easy to bond with one another. We all work in the same office. We all teach many of the same students. So you have such a network of support for dealing with day-to-day problems, even outside of school. Just last weekend, one of our coworkers organized a half marathon. So we all went running along the Bund. So there's always something to do, and you never feel like you're alone or on your own with problems here.
Yeah, I think Brandon and Jess have pretty much said it all. But yeah, I'd say so yeah, the students, the big drawing point of our school. I know that in the UK at times it was quite difficult to refine my practice when I was focusing more on behavioral and classroom management. But here I've really been able to like try all of these different techniques that I wanted to try when I first started teaching, but always the classroom management is something that held me back. So I found here my practice improved a lot because of the quality and caliber of students and the overall attitude to learning.
Wonderful. And then if we can just like touch a little bit more, because I know you briefly mentioned about the support that you received from relocating from elsewhere across the world to China, and then what sort of like benefits or support you can expect from the school, and how was that transition for you as well? What struck you as the most interesting difference, and then what was not as different even though you expected it to be?
Yeah, I'll start. Yeah, so yeah, FAO, so the HR team, which includes Helen, from the start, from the whole visa process, from when I first got off the job, was supported throughout, helped me with all of the paperwork processes, helped me with the, they picked me up from the airport, dropped me off at the campus, on the housing, which was a big thing for me because I hadn't actually come to Asia before. So it was a big move for me, but I found, things that were quite similar. The overall curriculum, I think originally was quite nervous about coming and doing the US curriculum because I thought there'd be quite a big disparity, but I found that everything is pretty much the same as what we do in the UK national curriculum, just if not all, it's slightly different. So yeah, FA are really supportive with that initial settling in period. And like I said in the presentation, all new teachers are given a mentor. So a teacher who's been here for more than 1 year previous, who helps them with everything from how to get a taxi to how to do your shopping to how do I do this? So who do I ask to get pens for my classroom? Yeah. Oh, and Chinese. Yeah, sorry. Chinese language course as well, which I'll be honest, I never actually took up. I do need to. But yes, they put on free Chinese classes as well to help immerse yourself in the Chinese culture.
Thank you. Any other insights before I move on to the next question?
I would say, at least for me, the transition was It was very stressful to begin with, moving across to the opposite side of the world. But the school, like Ed said, was really wonderful, having people there to kind of walk us through everything. It's very, I think, disorienting coming into a new country, not knowing any semblance of the language, trying to feel your way around. So the school does take a lot of effort to have someone there to walk you through things, to make sure that you get all the basics set up. But also, I think for me, it became very easy very quickly because I didn't have the pressure of thinking that I had to be able to speak Chinese in order to get around in Shanghai. It's very much, I think, the opposite. Most of the apps and things that we use on the day-to-day basis are translated into English for us, as well as a majority of people speak English. So there's very little kind of requirement for you to actually know Chinese, which once I kind of took that off my shoulders, it became much easier to just go out and kind of experience the city on my own, as opposed to kind of being afraid of having to try and work through these interactions. But the school also does offer language classes if you're interested in those to help you get around. I think a lot of my colleagues have taken those up, and it's great. It definitely helps you with day-to-day basics, working with getting a cab, things like that, ordering at a restaurant. But really the transition, I think, becomes very quick and easy once you acclimate after a week or so.
Yeah, Shanghai is often described as a soft landing when you're moving overseas. And I think that applies in so many ways. Also, as a female, I have found myself feeling very safe in Shanghai, especially compared to living in some of the states in the US. So overall, the transition was much less scary once I actually found myself over here. And again, coming in with another network of other foreign teachers, you're kind of going through this together. So it's both a bonding experience and something that you can look back on years later and think, oh my goodness, I can't believe I did that.
Thank you. And
from my perspective, my colleague just mentioned about how they feel about coming to our school, first arrival landing, what happened. And then from my perspective, I think right now these colleagues are all veteran teachers and the head of their department or in charge of lots of things, helping the school with the management. So from the management perspective, they actually help us a lot. My office, my team, 3 of us, to do a lot of additional work in the summer in order to help our new teachers for the transition. We started with only a 5-day orientation and later extended to like 7 days, because 2 days with new teachers. New teacher means who are new to our school, with all the paperwork, health check, maybe a salary card, getting a salary card, phone card. Our returning teachers, they were separate into different groups and pair with different groups of new teachers, and then guide them to the place and help them to fill in forms, and then be the translator. Some Chinese, some Western teachers speak very fluent Chinese, be the translator and be there all the time, help them to finish the card and the SIM card so that they can talk with family on day 1, and then help them to get internet connected in the apartment, and then shop in the nearest
Metro and
IKEA. So every day we prepare after the sessions. The sessions are like introduce school culture, introduce school rules, and then look at the calendar and look at the schedule and then textbooks, curriculum. Every day there are different parts prepared for our new teachers. And then in the afternoon, about 3 o'clock-ish, different groups will take our new teacher different corner of the city for shopping or know more about the city or the metro and try different restaurant or find a vegan place or something like that. So that's why they work a lot during the holiday in order to do a good job for the transition of our new teacher. I hope from this perspective also help students understand what we do to support them.
Yeah, definitely. And it did answer my next question, was whether learning Mandarin is mandatory for living in China. And I think I have to remind the students that Shanghai is such a a big and vast city, so multicultural, quite safe from my own experience as well. And it seems like the arriving teachers are very well supported. There's a good support system there where everyone takes care of each other and exchanges tips, from, I don't know, getting set up with a WeChat account to grabbing taxis and sharing advice on the best place to eat food. I'm a little bit conscious of time, so I wanted to end with a very last question, because I know we had quite a few students from China joining us today who were also interested in teaching opportunities with you. Helen, is there any advice you can give them around what qualifications you're expecting for any Chinese nationals who want to join either your international division or your local division instead, and how can they get in touch for additional information?
Yeah, we are very welcome to the students who got overseas learning experiences, return to China, return to Shanghai, and apply for certain positions in our school. We particularly call these people Haigui, overseas return Chinese people, and then they're very welcome. And then we also have a department that they can contact. Like I said earlier, I'm in HR, but mainly in charge of foreign teacher, but we have another teacher who mainly help to collect Chinese people teachers application, and then present them to the principals, and the principals would delegate them to the department heads and directors to arrange the interview. So I think I already gave Kyrie the HR at, I think it's hr@shsid.org. Email that Chinese students, if you are learning in University of Manchester, you're very welcome to contact the HR in charge of Chinese teacher recruitment through this email. And then you're always very welcome. We need teachers for science subjects or liberal arts or IT or different need, or projects like PBL, PBA. So every year we recruit a lot of Haigui students return from overseas universities.
Thank you. I'm just going to share on my screen now the email for the HR department for those Chinese nationals who may be interested in teaching qualifications. And also I'll encourage all those other non-Chinese nationals who are interested in relocating to Shanghai or exploring opportunities in China to get in touch with Jerry. Jerry is our contact for the Shanghai High School and is the one who has been advertising some of the roles on Careers Connect. So please do visit Careers Connect to see the full jobs qualifications for some of the roles which are currently available, and Shanghai High School is actively hiring too. And then you can send your applications directly to Jerry as well. If you do have any questions, feel free to contact either myself or Jerry as well, so we can better support during the application process and discuss with you your requirements and whether you're eligible or not. Just to say a huge thank you to everyone who participated in this presentation today, and to remind the students that it's such a worthwhile opportunity to gain international exposure, reach out and relocate to different regions across the world. Employers all around the world do value you getting that international exposure, improving your cultural appreciation skills, your international knowledge and experience, and it does add really good value to your CV even afterwards. It's such a enriching experience for your professional and personal development as well. So we'll encourage all of the students who join us here today to do consider applying to these or similar opportunities in the future as well. So once again, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Helen, Joy, Edward, and everyone else for joining us today and for giving up their time. And hopefully you'll be receiving plenty of applications from our students and graduates in the future.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. Actually, I want to make up for something, because just now we've been talking about curriculum and then the other parts, but literally our school also encourage students with all different perspectives growth, a whole person growth. And there are more than 100 clubs after school curriculums available for our students. So teachers are also, if you're interested about extracurriculum, our school has a big part of extracurriculum. And in the presentation recording at the very beginning is our wing band. That's only part of the wing band people. There are like more than 50 if we collect all of them. We also have an orchestra and a lot of a cappella and singing groups or different sports or debating, Model UN, WSC, different extra curriculum things. So I just want to make up, maybe we talk about sports curriculum, but we also have a lot of varieties available on our campus. I just want to make up for this. Thank you.
There's something there for everyone. Hi, Tong. Would you like to add something?
Just introduce myself. My name is Tong Zhou, and I'm Director of Manchester Education International. Our role is to support Shanghai High School's teachers recruitment in UK, and because we are based in Manchester, so it's easy for you to contact us. And you can, we support your application, arrange interviews and visas. So you can have our details through the Career Connect, or I can send the message now in here.
Yeah,
so thank you everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Tong and Jerry, for your valuable support. If you don't mind just putting perhaps your email address in the chat area for any of the students who want to reach out to you directly. So I should have mentioned this, that you do have access to local contacts in Manchester who will be able to answer questions and support you through the process, so the application process, the interviews, answer questions, help you with visa support if that's something that you require. So please feel free to reach out to Tong and Jerry in the future as well. So thank you everyone once again, and just to encourage the students to please do get in touch if you do have any other additional questions. Have a great afternoon, everyone. See you again soon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.